Her name is Brianna Denise, and the name of the video that she did was called Storytime Pregnant Again at 18. My baby father is evil. I couldn't believe it, so I had to press play.
17 years old, that's when I first found out that I was pregnant. I was 17 and pregnant. Then I got 18 and got pregnant again. My son was conceived April 16th of 2018. The reason why I know that is because after I had my daughter in November of 2017, me and my baby father, we were going through like a lot of petty arguments and stuff like that. And it kind of like pushed me away from him. So we were having less sex because I just did not want to have sex with him. Because we weren't having a lot of sex, I do remember the last time we had sex. And it's kind of crazy because the last time we had sex was April 16th of 2018. And then I have my son.
That's right. She wasn't having him, had sex with him again, and then got pregnant. But here's the worst part. Look at what she did with her best friend.
So the reason why me and my baby father broke up is because March, I did cheat on my baby father. I had a best friend and it was cool. I would vent to him all the time because my baby father would put me through so much. So what made me and my baby father break up is because we were on the phone. And I called him like, when are you coming home? Like, you need to come home. It's like your turn with the baby. I'm tired. I'm pregnant. I am tired. He said something and then we just started arguing. Said something about my body while we were arguing because like after I had my first baby, I did breastfeed her and my breast just got like saggy. So he said that he body shamed me. But the thing is that like it was out loud to everybody. After that, I said what I said. I said, you know what, it's fine because I cheated on you months ago. I don't give a... I don't care. I do not. Like, the guy I cheated on you with, he said my breasts are grown woman breasts. Okay? An adult breast. Yo, I'm freshly 18 saying this. Like, yes, because I'm a woman.
Oh, yeah.
So, here we are, Meek. I think it's perfect time for you to come in, Meek. Speak to the young ladies. This girl, 18 years old, on her second child. Second.
Don't do it. It's foolish. Don't have a baby. Don't be a teenage mom. It's crazy. Being a single mom is ghetto. 0 stars on Google, okay? To me, it just seems like she had a lack of guidance. It just sounds so bad. Because 2 in a row, baby, they wouldn't let me leave the hospital without birth control. Like, they had like 5 different ones set up, like which one you leaving with. So I'm just quite surprised that she was able to get pregnant like right around, like right after. That's crazy to me.
She's still in high school.
Yeah, like that's real weird. I mean, but I don't expect much because I'm sure her mother is probably like, her mother, she talking about she was pregnant at 17. Shit, her mama probably like a little bit older than me. Her mama probably like 34. Didn't teach her how to do nothing but how to have sex, and that's all she's doing. Is going to have sex.
Right.
So, I don't know, y'all. That just hurt my feelings though, because she's so silly. She's so silly.
You think that? Yeah, I heard you say right, Heathen Queen. So the fact that her mother may have only, more or less taught her to hunch, that kind of excuses her, maybe.
No.
I mean, with the advent of the internet, with the way we take our friend, we take friends' advice before we take our parents' advice. I don't know which one would be even remotely the thing that they would be listening to. It's just that I don't understand the push for fertility, the push for I can't think of the word, contraception. Mm-hmm. Why is there not such a major push for contraception? Everybody on the planet knows there's contraception not to get pregnant. Every female knows. If she's been to the doctor, she knows. If she's been to any kind of clinic, she knows there's birth control. The women are choosing not to take birth control. That's the problem when you choose not to take birth control. I have 4 girls. The minute they had their period, I marched them down to the health department. All of them.
And real quick, he's the queen.
Birth control.
Like Mr. Walker said earlier, it's not. So it's off the table to tell women to stop intercourse. That's just off the table.
It's off the table.
It shouldn't be off the table. It shouldn't. You can raise your daughters, like y'all just brought up, raising daughters. You can raise your daughters to, for one, not make the mistakes that you made, and for two, to have integrity. So if women give up on their daughters,
no. Biologically, we've been trying to get kids not to have sex since the beginning.
Right. But I agree with Heathen Queen. Like, yeah, I'm not against birth control. I think we need to check and make sure we know what we're putting in our body, because there have long-term effects. But in general, you need to be on birth control. I've heard a lot of young women say, I don't believe in birth control. What do the fuck you believe in, ma'am? Because if you keep having baby after baby after baby after baby, what do you believe in then? Right. Because at that point, you have to do something. So it's a lack of leadership in the homes, for one. That's where it's starting at. It's a lack of the mothers, like y'all said, not teaching their daughters sometimes, how to conduct themselves. And third part, Heathen Queen. Biology is biology. Them hormones are racing. Get them on birth control. So, yeah, that's what I think it is. And I think we need to ultimately understand what love is, because love is not this delusional thing that a lot of children think it is, and they get themselves into some situations that are very hard to get out of.
Right.
So before we get back into it, is it safe to say it's over for this sister? Granted, there might be a 3% chance she can figure it out, but or whatever the case may be. But to be liberal and to try to focus on people we can actually save, this is when we say put her to the side. If there's time, once we, get majority of the people round up, if there's time to go back for her, we will.
See, the problem with leaving her, Gavin, is that she's going to make more children. I care about the children in the community. So although I would love to just say, screw her and come on, all the great women who've learned, the issue is this: if this woman doesn't seek therapy soon, she needs a therapist. If she does not seek a therapist soon to fix what's going on up here, she's going to have another one. And then she's going to have another one. I've talked to women with 7 children. Right. And it happens out here because they never sought the therapy that they needed because they didn't have the guidance. So I say no, I cannot not say something or just say she needs to go to a therapist. She needs to seek a therapist ASAP and stay away from him.
Amongst other things, like it's so much that ain't gonna solve her problems. It really
could help. You got to start somewhere.
It can help. I agree. I'm not disagreeing, but it's just over. If I said it ain't worth it. There's other women we can save. This woman here, we take her and Nug Nug and cast them away. We need to have hot spots. We need to have quarantine zones where we throw these people in and they deal with each other. All right.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, yeah, therapy would help. It would help her with something. It ain't a bad place to be. Right. At the very same time, when we talk about is it over? Like she can get therapy, get herself fixed, and now she still got to take care of these 2 kids by herself.
But I got a question. Wasn't there a time when we were pushing birth contraceptions and that kind of thing in the home? I mean, in the school, weren't they pushing that at one particular point in school? Why did we get away from pushing that in school?
I think they still do.
I mean, like handing out condoms and
okay.
You got me because they still teaching that in schools or what? Is that lost?
No, they don't really. No, they don't have sex ed because what my kid is 7th grader. Over. So my son we had sex ed at home. They didn't have it at school. Like, and at least here in the city, when I was 10, you had to pay extra to have Planned Parenthood come talk to you. So like everybody who parent didn't pay for them to have it, they didn't get to learn about sex. And then we had another health class in high school.
Are moms talking to their daughters about this stuff, Meek?
No.
Like, majority. No. Like what percentages do you think who are having these conversations?
Nobody. I think a lot of young girls is learning from sex about the internet, just in general.
Jesus.
I agree.
What,
and
like,
I
legit why I don't make friends with women. Like legit, like I've met some great women. Shout out to Crystal and Lamb for being in this space, but like here in the city, like I had a, oh man, I'm gonna tell her business, but I don't care. Like she's like really a deadbeat mom. Her daughter is now a ward of the state. Her daughter's 14. And I remember when her daughter was like 8, I would be like, you have to be a better mother before the streets get a hold of her. And she'd be like, well, I ain't want her no way. She wouldn't even teach this girl how to wash herself. And then she would talk about her. She's like, she stank, her underwear dirty. And I'm like, that's your baby. Like, that's your baby. Your baby is dirty. That's on you. But
that's God.
And I mean, it's so many, like, it's a whole building here. Our Jane Edna building is filled with teenage children who parents don't give 2 F's about them. They just releasing them. Nobody raising them. Like, nobody's teaching them nothing. Like, Charleston White talked about it on Cam Newton podcast. These new STDs that's out, these children being hit with it more. And it's like nobody even sitting down and telling them, like, that's your body. You only get one of them cookies. Once you mess that cookie up, it's wraps. It's no more. You know, so the important conversations aren't happening. And I talked to my baby about it, but like I said, he about to be 13, but people been having sex like at the school as early as 4th grade in the bathrooms. Yeah. And it's like, well, how do y'all even know what sex is? And he's like, I don't know, but I know I'm not ready. And I'm like, good, because sex is for mature people. Right. You know, it is. Like, sex is a responsibility. If you know you ain't gonna want to get up and be a parent, you shouldn't even lay down there.
Talking about sexual maturity is taboo, at the very least in the urban community. We don't, and that's a shame, like Pick Me just said. And we got to listen to this sister. Pick Me be giving us a view inside of some stuff, man. She said she got a whole apartment building. He's just like, they ain't doing it. They ain't trying to be parents. So here we go. The cycle continues. That's why Gavin keeps saying we can't really focus too much energy and life into some of these people, Crystal, because it's going to be a waste. At this point, we got to put, we can't save them all. We got to put that on there and say, all right, let's see who we can save. Try to help those people. And once we get the good ones on the straight and narrow, then we may, if we got time and try to save some of the stragglers, that's fine. But it's all about being productive. And I'm on the road with Gavin that some of these sisters like her, it's unfortunate and it hurts, but we being
locked. My question is, Pick Meek said some of these people that are getting thrown out, these teenagers, they're getting thrown out because their parents don't care about them. Right. That's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about those children who are getting thrown out because they mama didn't care and they're 14, 15, 16, 18, like this woman over here. So I'm more so speaking to the children. Of course, I would want the mothers to change their behavior, but if that woman needs to be locked up, who said that about her daughter? She needs to be locked up, to me. She needs to be locked up by saying that she doesn't care of her daughter, calling her daughter all these names and whatnot, and saying that she doesn't care what happens to her and the streets can have her. Okay, I can't say she needs to be locked up, but she needs to be in a mental asylum or something. Something's wrong. So I'm not saying save her. I'm talking about the children that they've made. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
And even them. See, I feel you, Crystal, and I can't wait to watch your developing growth over these next couple of years because I was there. I feel you. I feel that passion, but I'm telling you.
But they're going to have kids, so I'm genuinely asking, so what do we do? Because now that all those 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds are now making babies, as we see, and it's still a sick software. So when does it stop? They just going to keep having babies.
I wouldn't say try to save them. Try to educate and acknowledge the cautionary tale. But when I hear save, I hear a happily ever after to some extent. And some of these, there ain't going to be no fulfillment and happily ever after. But we can try to educate, but I wouldn't say save.
So what you got, Meek? We get Pick Meek. I want to keep playing this video.
I would say saving is very difficult because, like, with the girl that I was talking about, I tried to take her daughter under my wing, but it was like, I'm not her main environment. So unless you're planning to move in a gang of children and show them a different environment than what they're used to, they usually just don't want to listen to it. For me, I just feel like we could address the problem faster if we had more women representing themselves better online, because that's how these young girls are gaining the knowledge and the information. They're on the YouTube, they're on the Instagram, they're on TikTok. So if more women were coming out and being like, being a hoe was the stupidest thing I could do, it led me down this path. That's why I started my platform, so women can understand, like, getting out here and just being promiscuous will not lead you to anything prosperous. It's like God don't bless no mess. So somebody
Amen.
has to be pushing that agenda to them, but nobody is. Like the women that they're seeing, Sexy Red, Sukiana, like regardless of if those are the characters that we voted to be their role models, that's who they see. That's who's getting the most screen time. So the women that aren't oversaturated in this culture, we got to get ourselves out here more. We need to be getting more videos out. We need to be finding a way to silence those broads. And then until we can do that, it won't be a difference.